Have you ever made a small decision? Something that felt completely insignificant at the time, but ended up changing everything? It's funny how life works, isn't it? One tiny choice, one moment of kindness, can set off a chain reaction you never saw coming. Today, I want to tell you a story about a woman named Clara, and how a simple seat swap on a crowded flight led her down a path she never could have imagined. Her story is a beautiful reminder that sometimes the best things in life happen when we least expect them, often sparked by a simple act of goodwill. So, picture this. Clara, a graphic designer with a love for old books and rainy days, is at the airport. She's heading to Seattle for a big design conference, a trip she's been both dreading and looking forward to for months. She's meticulously planned everything, from her presentation slides down to her noise-canceling headphones for the flight. Clara is a planner. She likes order, predictability. Her boarding pass says, 1 for A window set, perfect. She can lean against the side, watch the clouds, and just zone out. She boards the plane, navigates the narrow aisle, and finds her row. But there's a family there, a flustered-looking mother, a father trying to manage 2 excited young kids, probably around 6 and 8 years old. Their seats are scattered. The mom is in 1 for B, the middle seat next to Clara's, and the dad and kids are across the aisle. The mother looks at Clara with that universal look of quiet desperation that parents get in public spaces. "I'm so sorry to ask," she begins, "but would you mind possibly switching with my husband? His seat is 1-4D, right there. We just want to be able to sit together." Now, Clara's first instinct, her planner instinct, is to say no. 1-4A is her sanctuary. An aisle seat means getting bumped by the cart, people queuing for the restroom. It's not part of the plan. But then she looks at the kids, their faces pressed against the tiny window, and the exhausted hope in the mother's eyes. It's just a seat. A few hours of minor inconvenience. "Of course," Clara says with a warm smile. "No problem at all." The mother's face floods with relief. "Oh, thank you so much." Clara gathers her backpack and moves across the aisle to 14D. The father thanks her as they switch. She settles into her new aisle seat, a little bit pleased with her good deed, and pulls out her book. The plane finishes boarding. The doors close, and the engines start to roar. Just as Clara is about to lose herself in the first chapter, a voice next to her says, "That was a really kind thing you did." She looks up. Sitting in 1-4E, the middle seat, is a man with kind eyes and a friendly smile. He's holding a well-worn copy of a fantasy novel she loves. "Oh, it was nothing," Clara replies, feeling a little flustered. They needed to be together. He nods. Still, not everyone would do it. He gestures to her book. "Good choice. Have you read his other work?" And just like that, they start talking. His name is Leo. He's a software engineer on his way back home to Seattle. Not for a conference, but just returning from visiting family. They talk about books, discovering a shared love for the same obscure authors. They talk about travel, about the places they've dreamed of seeing. Clara, who is usually reserved with strangers, finds herself opening up, laughing freely. Leo is easy to talk to. He listens, really listens, and shares stories about his own life with a gentle humor that puts her completely at ease. For the entire flight, they don't stop talking. They forget about their phones, their books, the world outside their little row. They talk about their jobs, her passion for creating visual stories, his for solving complex digital puzzles. They find out they both volunteer at animal shelters. They both think pineapple on pizza is a crime. It's one of those rare, effortless connections that feels like you've known the person for years. As the plane begins its descent into Seattle, a strange sense of disappointment washes over Clara. She doesn't want it to end. As they land, Leo turns to her. "I know this is forward," he says, a little nervously, "but I feel like I'd be crazy not to ask. Would you like to get coffee sometime while you're in town? I could show you a great spot that isn't a tourist trap." Clara's heart does a little flip. The planner in her brain is silent for once. Her gut, her heart, whatever it is, screams yes. "I would love that," she says, her smile feeling as wide as the runway. They exchange numbers right there in the aisle, promising to text. True to his word, Leo texts her that evening. The next day, after her conference sessions, he takes her to a cozy, hidden-away coffee shop with the best latte she's ever had. Coffee turns into a long walk through a beautiful park. That walk turns into dinner at a quirky little restaurant he knows. It feels less like a first date and more like catching up with an old friend. Clara's conference becomes the background noise to her week. The main event is the time she spends with Leo. He shows her his Seattle, the bustling markets, the quiet waterfronts, the viewpoints that take her breath away. On her last day, as he drives her to the airport, there's a quiet sadness in the car. "I can't believe I only met you because you gave up your seat," Clara says softly, looking out the window. Leo smiles. "I was thinking the same thing. I almost didn't even take this flight. I was going to fly out a day earlier." It hits them both at the same time, the sheer, beautiful randomness of it all. A cascade of tiny decisions, a series of what-ifs that all lined up perfectly to put them in seats, one for D and one for E. They say their goodbyes at the terminal, and it's not a nice-to-meet-you kind of goodbye. It's a talk-to-you-soon goodbye, filled with unspoken promise. And they do. They talk every day. First texts, then long phone calls that last late into the night. A month later, Leo flies to see her. The month after that, she flies back to Seattle. Not for a conference, but just for him. Long distance is hard, but what they have feels too real, too important to let go of. They are building something, piece by piece, across 1,000 miles. 6 months after that first flight, Clara finds herself packing boxers. Not for a short trip, but for a one-way move. She found a new job in Seattle, a fantastic opportunity that seemed to fall into her lap right when she needed it. She's leaving her old life, her predictable, well-planned life, behind. It's terrifying. But as she looks at the plane ticket on her desk, this time for seat 18C, right next to Leo Sedisucha Bites, she knows it's right. So, what's the point of this story? It's a reminder that our lives are not always defined by the big, monumental choices we stress over. Sometimes, they are shaped by the small, impulsive acts of kindness. By saying yes when it's easier to say no. By giving up a window seat. Clara's simple gesture of politeness didn't just give a family a more comfortable flight. It rerouted her entire existence. It led her to love Tuanyu City, to a new life she never would have planned for herself. So the next time you have the chance to do something small for someone else, do it. You never know who you might be sitting next to. You never know how one tiny, unplanned detour might just lead you exactly where you were always meant to be. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me today. If you have a similar story of a small choice that changed everything, I would absolutely love to read about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that make you think. See you next time.